What's up, everybody? Welcome to Building Our Power. This is Gabby.
And KT.
And we're back with another episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our last episode entitled Why Capitalism Loves Independence. If you would like, you can follow us on social media at Building Our PWR on our social media channels. Also, if you would like to donate to the community fridge we got going on, you can do that. We have, if you go to YouTube, we'll have some video footage of what we were able to do. We got about $400 worth of groceries, and it was greatly appreciated. Alright, guys, so if you listen to our last episode, you know that we contracted COVID. We had COVID last week. Still do. So I got a home test last Saturday. Said I had COVID, right? So I didn't go to school. I didn't go to work. I had to call this little this little COVID line for the school and tell them pretty much that I was sick. So they asked me, when do I remember my first symptoms? I told them Saturday. And they said, okay, well, according to the CDC guidelines, you can come back in 5 days. So, yeah, you can come back on Thursday. And I was like, what? Wait. And then I also have to provide them with a positive PCR test. Which I hadn't got yet. So I had to schedule one of those. And I literally was still sniffling. I literally was still congested. They wanted me to come back to work that week. I had just got the symptoms. I didn't come to work, though. But I took my COVID test on Thursday. It came back today. It said I'm still positive. But them people said it does not matter, because as long as I don't have to take medicine to reduce the fever, it don't matter what else I got going on. It don't matter if I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing up loogies and stuff. As long as I don't have a fever, I need to go to work, because they're not going to pay for anything else. And that's what we got going on right now, guys. All these sick people crammed up in these places with your unvaccinated children. And just, that's what we got going on. And for people to have the nerve to say something about teachers saying they don't want to be in this type of environment, fuck you. Fuck you, your mama, your daddy, and all of y'all.
Only 3 minutes
because I want to see y'all go into these schools, first of all, pre-COVID, with all the germs, the boogers, the pee-pee, the boo-boo, all of that, and now add COVID to it. So shut up. And that's pretty much what we got going on. I have to go to school because I'm not going to get paid.
Yeah, and I think this kind of broadens up, like, kind of what we want to talk about a lot in this episode is about how the government looks at disability, how the government is looking at you being sick, and how you must, like, there's no safety net for you, essentially. And so, what was it that the CDC said? The CDC said something more recently.
Oh, yeah, that lady, what was her name? Rochelle Walensky. She said, she was on some show, and they were like, you got some promising news now coming out about Omicron and the vaccine. She said, oh, yeah. She said, the overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had 4 comorbidities. So really, these are people who were already unwell to begin with. So yeah, this is really encouraging news in context of the Omicron. It's really encouraging news to know that the people that died are people that we don't care about.
Oh my God. That's so morbid. I told Gabby this, but that is so morbid to me. For you to say, oh, well, them people were sick before, so they're about to die anyway. Who cares? Like, are you fucking shitting me? Are you shitting me at this point? Like, are you absolutely serious?
But to use the word encouraging, not to say there's some interesting news, that's some
sad news.
Because what is that saying? That's saying that the vaccine is really only supposed to work for people who aren't already sick.
Right.
So the vaccine ain't working for you if you get disabilities, or for majority of the people if they got disabilities, but we don't care. We're not going to figure out a better way to treat them people. We ain't going to figure out what we need to change. It's just, who cares?
And Gabby and I, we were curious, what's a comorbidity? What are they considering a comorbidity? And apparently, pretty much all of the United States has a comorbidity at this point. It's depression, it's high blood pressure, it's being fat, it's diabetes,
stroke, arthritis, sleep apnea, cancer,
anything.
Yeah.
Good luck. Basically, good luck, American people. You are dying. We don't really care.
But here's my thing. That's what I was telling KT about that. I'm trying to figure out, like, as far as people that I know in my community, my family concerned, I don't know anybody that's over the age about 55 who ain't got at least one of these things. At least ain't got hypertension, diabetes. So we're just saying anybody that's elderly, you finna die. Anybody, who cares what happened to, like, it, that is so, these people are bold now. It's literally no hold bars.
They're not even holding back. They're literally, it's not funny, but it is like, you have to laugh in order not to cry at this point because it's sick. It's literally sick. But anyway, this, not only this part, but think about too, like when we talk about people with disabilities, how they're making it seem. It's like, well, those people were sick before, you know, they're not really contributing to the American capitalism, right?
Yep.
And so Gabby and I were thinking about that, and we were like, okay, well, why would they say like, okay, well, it's okay if those people die? And it's because the American government says something like, hey, you know what? Actually, if these people are still alive, we're gonna have to pay insurance. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to pay for
life insurance.
Or
retirement stuff.
Yeah, retirement stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pay. We're literally gonna have to pay disability, Social Security. We're gonna have to pay those things. And the government does not want to.
Yeah.
They will do anything to save a buck, even if that means killing millions of people. Millions of people for the sake of the dollar.
And what else is interesting is I was looking up comorbidities, and they were saying how obesity is like the number one because of all these factors, this, that, and the third. And so I was looking up, you know, I had read that the life insurance industry was one of the main industries that was pushing for the smoke bans and to ban cigarettes because that was pulling on their pockets. So I was like, I wonder if the life insurance industry has something to do with, you know, this fight against obesity and all this fatphobia and stuff like that. And I came across this article that was interesting when you think about capitalism and the way we view disabilities. It says obesity greatly increases the chances of disability due to cardiovascular disease or musculoskeletal illness. In one study of 51,000 adult Finns, 25% of disability pensions in women were found to result directly from obesity. Obesity causes increased health expenditure, decreased lifespan and productivity, and premature retirement. So with obese people, apparently, they're having to pay more out from the health insurance. I guess the health insurance having to pay more out. They're not working as many hours. They're not working as much, and they're going to retire early, so they can't contribute to capitalism as much as non-obese people, apparently.
Now, I wanna come in and say I hate the word obese. I know that's like how it's said in the medical industrial complex and stuff like that, but like at least for myself as an actual fat person, saying obese is kind of like gross in a way for them to say it like that. But anyway, long story short, I do want to add that majority of these quote unquote things that Gabby found are also absolutely positively not true about fat people at all. Fat people live longer. That is a proven fact. Fat people can work just as hard as thin people. That's a proven fact. Like, I just want to make it clear that what this thing says is clear fat phobia, and that capitalism plays with fat phobia just as much as anything else. They are intertwined.
That was the whole point. That's what I'm saying, making this whole thing about comorbidities, aka majority of these folks were what we would call obese. So who gives a fuck? Because we was already paying disability to some of the people. They already probably weren't working, and so who cares?
So that brings us to the social safety net that we were talking about, and how basically the United States, like, you know, since all these these people are going to be getting COVID, or they're going to have COVID, they're going to become disabled. Like, people are going to become disabled because this is a virus that attacks your entire body, right? So Gabby and I decided to look up, hey, you know, what would allow you to actually get disability in the United States? If a lot of people are going to be newly disabled, okay? And so, yeah, basically what we found is that it's next to impossible to get disability here. It can take up to 5 years to get disability. This is with a lawyer. You have to go to court. You have to pay for that. Not to mention the fact that while you are disabled, you also have to work. But guess what? If you don't work up to 20 hours, you're not going to be able to get food stamps. It's like these people, like our government, we say this literally all the time, but they literally do not care about us. Yeah. The only thing they care about is our labor and what we can do for them as the rich.
Yeah, yeah. And what I was looking
it's so frustrating for me as someone who like, again, I am actually fat, but regardless, it's like I'll never be able to get on disability. Even if I had a disability, I'll never be able to use any type of social services again as long as I'm alive, essentially, if I'm not working for the capitalist system.
Yeah. From what I read, it said about only 35% of people who apply in total, which is out of millions of people, actually get approved. And you gotta think about, like, as far as, like, yeah, you're right, you'll never get it. Because you gotta think, like, there's people that are, like, there's people that, like, literally are bedridden their entire lives. Yeah. Like, those folks in front, and even they might not even get it because of the way that it's going. But like you said, they don't want to, because what are you contributing to capitalism? They having to pay more for you than you giving in. There's literally, in their frame point, this is bad to say, you literally should not even be here. Like, what are you doing here?
It's sick. That is so more. But didn't you say that you read on the CDC that 1 in 4 people are disabled?
1 in 4 people in America are disabled.
So if 1 in 4 people are disabled in America and only 35% of people are being approved for disability, what?
Everybody else, you just better figure it out.
Are you shitting me? Like that blows my mind. So you're telling me that a lot of people, like America, 1 in 4 people have a disability, and only 35% of those 1 in 4 people are actually approved for benefits. So what are they doing? They're gonna be They're gonna be food insecure. They're gonna be house insecure. Minimum wage is still $7.25.
And it's lower if you have a disability.
It's lower if you have a disability. You can't get food stamps from being disabled unless the state says that you're disabled. And even then, it's going to take you up to 5 years in order for you to get the state to verify that you are in fact disabled, if they even do that.
And so, really, what we're trying to get to now is this myth of there being a damn social safety net.
We keep saying that.
There ain't no social safety net because, at least in Tennessee, I don't know how else y'all be doing it. You have to work. You have to work at least 20 hours, but then you can't make over a certain amount. Like, for me, in a year, I make...
For food stamps?
Yeah, for food stamps. I make like $22,000 a year, nothing. I cannot get food stamps because that is too much. It does not matter if I have enough money to fill up my fridge. They decide that I do not, I make too much.
But check this out also, which is interesting to me, is that, and we've talked about this previously together, but like how the fact that you as a teacher, you don't work 2 months out of the year. You don't qualify for food stamps because you make too much. But then you also cannot get unemployment in the state of Tennessee during those 2 months because you're a teacher.
Yeah.
What sense does that make?
Yeah.
And then I know for a fact people are going to be like, well, you live in a red state. Well, you live in a red state. I don't care. I don't care where I live. If I lived in a blue state, I don't care. I'm positive that it's just as hard to get on food stamps. I'm positive it's just as hard to get on disability, because these are not these are not individual issues, individual state issues. These are national issues that
National
happen.
issues. Yeah,
Everybody.
We talk about it every time. We talk about this all the time. Reagan cut them quote unquote entitlements. George H.W. Bush, Clinton, George W. Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. All of them have cuts. So it ain't even got nothing to do with the state. The federal level has cut the quote unquote entitlement funding. So this, like you said, it has nothing to do with states. It has to do with capitalism. It has to do with this system.
I mean, too, same thing with fatphobia, like you were talking about. People often, they put it as like this individual health issue, where it's just individual people that are the problem. But if you're looking at it at the standpoint as, well, fat people, we can't even qualify for food stamps. So that makes us food insecure, which people have done studies that say that poor people are larger because they are food insecure and they cannot eat 3 meals a day, healthy 3 meals a day, because they're food insecure. Like, it's constantly, capitalism is literally, Gabby and I said this, they are fucking us in the ass every single way. And not fucking us in the ass in a good way.
we ain't liking it.
We're not liking it.
Not
It's
consensual.
very terrible. Like, it's awful.
Yeah, and something else I was thinking about, because I was just thinking about the absurdity now in my 28 years of living, that the government and the media was able to put this stigma on food stamps. Food stamps. I was telling KT, this ain't house stamps, this ain't car stamps, this ain't clothes stamps.
You can't buy
This
toilet
ain't get
paper.
a TV stamp. This is food.
Yeah.
Food. And people think that is, oh no, you should not be able to eat. Why? Because I work for a shitty job and I ain't got no balls or no vagina to say anything to my boss and ask for a raise, and I can't fill up my fridge, so you shouldn't be able to fill up your fridge. But here's the thing, would you switch places with the person that is getting food stamps? No, because they can't even make no money.
We can't, people who are on food stamps, at least in the state of Tennessee, cannot have assets more than $2,500. So if your car is worth more than $2,500, you're automatically declined for food stamps. And like I said, if you don't work at least 20 hours, you can't get food stamps anyway.
So it's like they're in a limbo of, like, even if they were like, I need money to pay for my rent. Like, I need a better job.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then you're not going to have food. Then it's like, or it's like, I want to have food for my fridge. Okay, well, then you're not going to have enough money to live somewhere better.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we are. And again, we said all this to combat that myth, because apparently even now with this pandemic and us seeing the reality of everything, we can see that, yeah, America does not care if you're poor. They're leaving us here to die. And that is the way it is.
And I don't want to leave y'all with like just the doomer mentality, because that's who we are. But like, yeah, that's why we need each other. Like, that's why we say every single episode, we need you. You need us. We need our community. Because without our community, without the people that are helping us, without us helping you in any possible way that we can, we're literally going to be like this for the rest of our life. And I refuse.
No. Yeah. That's literally, it's gotten to the point where there is nothing. The nonprofits ain't doing it.
No.
Nobody's doing it. We literally have to do it ourselves. And that's why we're going to push every single time we go on this damn episode. Mutual aid and community building and helping each other out, because that's all we get. Like, when I tell y'all, as soon as we can't even get done with putting the last piece of groceries in the fridge, and we already got a line over there of people needing food.
Yes.
Like, it's really gotten that bad. So if you have anything, you need to be giving it up to the people around you. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear that. I don't care if you make $100K. I don't care if you think you the working class. I don't give a fuck. If you got extra money, you need to be helping somebody.
You shouldn't have any excess wealth. And Gabby and I talked about this because, there's always that debate on Twitter. Like, I feel like we're kind of going on a rant now, but there's always a debate on Twitter where they're like, well, I make $100K and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, dude, your literal car payment is the same amount as my rent every single month. You have excess wealth, or you would not be able to afford those things.
Yeah.
Poor people cannot afford to buy a car. Poor people cannot afford literally to stock their fridge every single day. Poor people cannot afford those things that we have to take. Like, we can't even get Spotify, even if we wanted to. Yes, it's just $5, but that $5 could go towards 5 pieces of ramen noodles for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't think about the actual money and what actually goes into existing.
Yeah. And that's why, again, we have to combat this individualism.
Yeah.
It's over with. This is dystopian times. We over here with the Hunger Games. Everybody has to come together. Y'all need to cut out that damn anti-black bullshit. Cut out that misogynist bullshit, the homophobic, transphobic bullshit. Because y'all are literally wasting time. Y'all are wasting time being damn bigots. And that's going to be y'all left out in the cold because we have to come together. That's all I can say. So if y'all need any help with locating some mutual aid groups in your city, we will put a link there. We'll see if we can find some articles to help on if you would like to start a community fridge, and maybe link to some mutual aid Twitters as well. Because, I mean, honestly, guys, that's all I got. That's all we have. And
I mean, we're doing what we can, right? We're doing what we can, and we hope that other people are doing what they can. Like, don't be that person that sees somebody on the road and you're not offering to get them something. Don't be that person that sees a neighbor outside picking up leaves and you don't offer to pick up leaves with them if you have time and you have the energy to do it. Like care for one another, long story short. But we're kind of going to switch gears a little bit. This is a little bit longer episode, but we want to update you guys on what happened two episodes ago, where we talked about, we went into a neighborhood with houses that we had seen that were bigger than we have ever seen before. And we said, this is violent. That was our reaction. We said, these houses are violent. This land here is violent. We said we'd research it, and we would get back with you guys and tell you what we found. So, that's what we did. I actually looked it up. The area that we're talking about is called East Memphis. And within that area, there is White Station Road. It's a very big road. A lot of people know about White Station Road. They know about White Station High School here in Memphis, things like that. Long story short, the whole area was actually owned originally by someone named
Eppie White.
Eppie White, yeah. So who was Eppie White? He was what do you call it? A
colonel.
Colonel for the Confederate, yeah. And he owned 9,000 acres. 9,000 acres that was a plantation that he stole from natives that lived here.
Yep.
So whenever we were over there, and we were like, man, this just seems so violent. Why do they have these gigantic houses with this big old land? It's because it literally was violence.
I mean, that's literally the only way you can make that much money from slave labor. And again, like I said, even now they still making the money off the ancestors of the slaves.
Yeah, because that Eppie White guy, his great grandson is a big CPA, so like an accountant here in Memphis. And is fucking rich.
And also owns properties. Like I said. Again, like we already said. So, yeah, whoever those people were on TikTok, they were saying, oh, you're overreacting. Those people work for what they have, and it's not violent. Shut the fuck up, just like everybody else. And do some research on your own neighborhood. Look at them rich neighborhoods. Look them up in the history books, and you'll find a slave owner. You will. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much all we want to talk about today. If you have anything you'd like to comment, you can comment in our YouTube, or you can hit us up on social media at buildingrpwr. You can hit KT up at KT_does art. You can hit me up at Gab Beats Music. And yeah, if you'd like to help us stock up our local community fridge, you can do that. Link will be in the bio.
100% of it goes to the fridge.
100% of it goes to the fridge. And that's pretty much it. We're out.